The first step I take when starting a new lesson is to activate my students' prior knowledge. I may lead them through discussion questions, such as these. How many of you watch TV or use streaming services? What shows do you watch? Which streaming services do you use? When do you watch them? How often? How many people listen to the radio? When do you listen to the radio? Do you listen as you're driving in your car? As you're working around the house? While you're at work? What kind of stations do you listen to? How about reading magazines? Does anyone here read magazines? Now, what about social media? Okay, come on, admit it. How many people here use social media? Which social media do you use? Let's come up with a list. How often are you on social media? How do you use it? Now, when we use these different kinds of media, we see a lot of advertisements. Have you noticed this? Where do you see some advertisements? Now, how many ads do you think we see in a day? Let's take a guess. Where do you tend to see a lot of ads? And when you do see these ads, do you remember them? Which ones do you remember? Why? What makes them memorable? Is it the images? Is it the words? Is it music that goes along with the ad? What helps you remember it? Let's look around us right now in the classroom that we're in and tell me if you see any brands or ads. Look at what you're wearing, what you have with you. Look at what your classmates have. Now, you have a Starbucks cup. Did you choose Starbucks for the brand? Or was it convenience? If there was a Dunkin' Donuts nearby, would you have gone there instead? Why do you choose the brands that you choose? And how do you feel when you're using these brands? Overall, do you think that the advertisements that we see influence us at all in the products that we choose? Why or why not? My next step in a lesson is to conduct a mini lesson, model an activity, and do some guided instruction. This is a stereotypical advertisement for perfume. Describe the ad. What is the first thing you notice? What catches your eye? What is the main text that you see? What's the main image? Let's list all of the details that we notice. Look at that, he forgot to wear a shirt today. Oops. Her skirt's blowing in the wind. However, somehow her hair is not blowing. Interesting wind. Who do you think the audience of this ad is, and what is the message? If we fill in the blank, if I buy this product, I will be what? Today we're going to read an article called The Mighty Image by Cameron Johnson. Using our active reading skills, let's take a pre-reading tour of the text. Let's start with our pre-reading. So first we'll pay attention to the title, The Mighty Image. What might we expect this to be about based on this title? I'm going to start my pre-reading off slow. I see a paragraph there that might be a summary or an introduction. I might read that one. Although exposed to advertising every day, most Americans are unaware of how advertisements commercials work in their everyday lives. While ads and commercials seem harmless or even absurd, as Cameron Johnson explains below, companies spend millions on advertising because it works. Johnson also explains the logic that keeps most people from seeing the effects of advertising in their lives. That's a helpful introduction. Now I can think about what might this actually be about, and what argument or point might Cameron Johnson be making. On the first page, I notice that there are some lines in italics. I might stop to read some of those lines. I also notice that there are repeating words. Throughout the essay, I'm seeing America or the United States, so I imagine that he's probably talking about America. I see the word SUVs multiple times. I see advertising a lot. And I see the word images. On the second page, at the bottom, I even notice the title, The Mighty Image. That jumped out to me. As we near the end of our reading, I'll slow down again, and I'll look at the final paragraph. Might read this one too. The image creates an allure, that is, an attractive association of the thing, ridiculously large truck, with a set of ideas: escape, individualism, America, majesty, power, etc. That set of ideas can be entirely divorced from reality, entirely separate from the needs of everyday life. But everyday life doesn't matter, nor does the logic that it might yield. The mighty advertising image makes it all irrelevant. Now, having read that, what kind of themes have we uncovered during our pre-reading? Let's take a moment to talk about it. Now, we can read. Let's revisit our earlier question. Do advertisements influence what people buy? With this question in mind, let's read. As we read, we'll remember to use our active reading skills. Take note of any unknown vocabulary words, any questions or any connections you may have, and annotate your text. All right, let's go. The Mighty Image by Cameron Johnson. By the time we Americans are old enough to make hard choices, what to buy, what to wear,